On Wednesday, 21st of February 2018, history was made in Lagos, Nigeria, when original African descendants gathered at Museum Center, kings and princes, scientists and technocrats to rub minds on origins, visions, and aspirations of the black race. In Conference on African Origins, New Scientific Evidence on Origins of Nigerian Peoples. Present, the Ooni of Ife, His Imperial Majesty, Oba Enitan Ogunwusi Ojaja II, the Ataofigala, His Royal Majesty, Dr. Michael Amen Oboni, Jaja of Okpobo, His Royal Majesty, King Dan Desin Douglas Jaja V. Other kings and their kingdoms were well represented by the Kingsmen. Welcome to the Conference on African Origins. The Conference on African Origins is the beginning of an extensive public awareness program to enlighten and empower the black African race about its true genetic and cultural history. Professor Kwon Ndung, President, Genetics Society of Nigeria, opened with,
the Human Genome Project is one of the concepts that was conceived in the year 1984 and it officially started in October 1990. It was a large multi-centered international collaborative venture whose aim was to determine the nucleotide sequence of the entire human nuclear genome. The project attracted worldwide attention by the media, and indeed, the mystery of life was unraveled for the very first time through this project. The library of life came out clearly through this project. The periodic table of life, in fact, what some people call the holy grail of human genetics. Scientists have sequenced the oldest human DNA ever extracted from a 430,000-year-old sample. There were three moments of expansion from a Central African source that are associated to the L2. The first one was the migration at 70 to 50,000 years into Eastern or Southern Africa. The second one was the post-glacial movement. That's during the geographical disintegration into Eastern Africa. And then the third one was the southward Bantu expansion in the last 5,000 years.
66 million years ago, a meteorite crashed into Earth, killing dinosaurs and most life, quickening the breakup of the supercontinent Pangaea. The new formation of continents with the Atlantic Ocean flowing between Africa and Europe on one side and the Americas on the other resulted in new wind systems that dumped the heaviest rains on the West African sub-region, making it the most fertile area for evolution, with rivers Niger, Benue, Kaduna, Sokoto, and many others emptying their waters ultimately in southern Nigeria, creating the largest continental mangrove and freshwater swamps where man evolved. In a study of 3,945 DNA samples, differentiated with 1,327 genotype markers, 14 probable ancestral clusters were created, show 58 DNA. A close analysis shows that the DNA values fell as you moved away from Yorubaland in southern Nigeria. Over millions of years, various humanoid species had spread from Africa across the world, as different new species set out to colonize the world, replacing previous migrants. From DNA evidence, the modern man evolved around 120,000 years ago as pygmies of southern Nigerian rainforests, the Yam Belt. Surviving by picking wild yams, The hunter-gatherers led human dispersal across Africa and Eurasia through the Ethiopia land bridge. Due to the Indonesian super eruption around 75,000 years ago that blocked sun rays and killed previous migrants around 60,000 years ago, Simon's Genome Diversity Project stated that the San Pygmies diverged from Yorubas 87,000 years ago, while Mbuti Pygmies diverged about 56,000 years ago.
I will use the term the Kwa Benue, the huge commonalities that we have in this area. And so we are therefore speaking of the Edo and the Efik, the Bibio, Idoma, Igala, Igbo, Ijo, Isoko, Isekiri, Jukun, Tiv, Urobo, Yoruba, and other groups within this area. Shows these huge similarities. Therefore, we can simply tell ourselves that in the past, these were one people, and gradually dialectical differences came in, and gradually you had different languages. Not really different languages, but different emphases and different ways of speaking, so that we can safely say that you are talking about one people. Let me also point out that Europeans tell us that the Yoruba Ifa system probably came from the Arabic Ramil because of the fact that they make marks on the sand. But from what we can see here, this is cast into huge doubt because Ramil could not have come at a stage when these languages were all together, as a group. Therefore, it's obvious that this was, to me, as far as I can see, this was a system that was developed by the indigenous African peoples.
Original Africans devised the first knowledge database wrongly equated as a religion, known as the African Information Retrieval System, IFA, IHA, AFA. Is based on a binary system divided into 16 divisions that would be further divided. Despite the later language divergence accentuated by foreign colonists in their ploy to divide and rule, African language and culture are basically the same.
Prince Justice Faluyi explained.
You made a study called the Human Genome Project for 10-15 years, headed by Mr. Collins. Now, when that study was going on, the Eastern scientists all rose up and said the identity of the oldest DNA should not be released. All Africans diverged out of Nigeria from the eastern border. Nigeria is the Bantu homeland. And when you say Bantu, you're talking of East and Southern Africa. One main problem we have in West Africa is that we have a very, our soil is very acidic. So there is no way that you will have skeletons that will last for, for 3-4 million years. The only reason why they find skeletons in East Africa or recently in Morocco is because they're dry. If you put anything there, you will find them in a million years. But archaeology is not a uniform tool to decide where or who is older. The two most important things, the two greatest evidence that we have is linguistics and our blood, which they have now analyzed with DNA, but we have not been able to intellectualize and articulate our platform. It's like, no, our platform is not backward. We have a system based on 16 by 16, which constitutes 256. Now, this is a system that was created 7,000 years ago. But the latest technology in the world, the computer system, is based on that same 256 pulses. Say this, if we do not unite our community, if we don't understand that, number one, we have the oldest DNA, that all original Africans came from one source. You know, once the Igala crossed the ocean, the river Niger, you have Igbo, then you have Idoma, then you have Jukun. The Jukun are the ones who spread up to the Middle Belt and the Idoma to form those we have today. And when you look at Southern Cardinal, the Southern Cardinal languages are the same branch of languages, and that Middle Belt all the way down to Jukun. Now, we went up. I say the specific place, if you want to see where human beings originated, is that forest between Lagos, Benin, and Ife at the top. Because when you look at Ife does not have any town, straight to the sea. So it was that forest that we evolved. Say culture is the way we do things. Politics is how we do things. And economics is how we achieve things. So if you get your culture wrong, you will definitely get your politics and your economics wrong. We need to understand the politics that they do not want us to have that unity. You wonder that why? But you see, with Yoruba, Igbo, Igala, South, if South and Middle Belt unite, they could change Nigeria, they could change Africa, and they could change Africa.
Oni had this to say.
It's about time for us to unite and be one and speak with one voice, especially we, the Aborigines. We have a lot of similarity in our culture, in our heritage, and in our tradition. Let us put supremacy aside. We have common ancestral background. We have common ancestors. It is very evident. United we stand, divided we fall.
This is the best thing that we're doing now to promote culture, promote homogeneity, to try as much as possible to say that we've come of age and that we can do things for ourselves.
This conference is very, very vital for the survival of the black man. It should be held regularly. This is the beginning of the beginning for we as a black people.
Chief Nya John Nwodo, President Ohaneze, the Apex Igbo socio-political group.
As an individual, thinking about my Igbo-ness and its relationship with the rest of the people here, I don't need to go too far. If I start with the Yorubas, I know that their Ifa is called Afa in Igbo. Why should there be such a linguistic similarity? I know that in Ife, there is a quarter which was inhabited by Igbos in pre-colonial times, in medieval times. Why should they have such a relationship? Why should Igbos be indigenous in Ife? Because this symposium has opened our eyes. It has deepened our knowledge of our commonalities, especially of our common origins, and the necessity to preserve our original identities. Please, Your Eminence, can we promote this more? I invite you to Enugu to give this kind of lecture to our people.
And with the people who organize this conference, we thank them to say what they have been thinking, what they have been
been doing theoretically, have taken the trouble of research, intellect, to support what we have been talking about. That no, don't go too far. There are so many things that bind us together if you can understand ourselves. So that's the message you do. And like Gatran said, this one should continue. It's the beginning of the good things to come. And with Jaja here supporting us, and our family is there, and the other believe there, Nigeria is one.
I just want to say very briefly that we are witnessing the true beginning of our history today. We are starting a new history. The real history of the Yoruba people, of the Igbo people, of the Ijaw people, of the Ibibio people, of the Igala people, of the Nope people, the Ebira people, the Tiv people, who constitute from all the information we have been having from serious studies since the middle of the last century, one people, the day of the beginning of our proper history. And we must push this forward and forward and forward. We must teach it to our children at home. We must teach it to our children in their elementary schools and secondary schools. We must establish it as a major course of study in every one of our universities. We must proclaim it on the rooftops and let the world know that the black people, the original black people from whom all the other black peoples of the African continent originated have discovered themselves at last and are ready to defend their interests and their civilizations and their cultures.
That a delegation from his chiefdom must be here. The delegation must be here, not because of any other thing, but because of the relevance of the subject matter. Coming from the cradle of the well-known Noh civilization.
I got this invitation. I was so amazed that something like this is going on in Nigeria. It's a very fantastic idea for whoever brings on this idea. It is right that unity may be difficult, but the ability for us to know the pattern as which we can bring in unity is always difficult. But I must say, without missing words, that today has made me to realize that unity just began.
Something to say, I am a representative of the disunity that has come as a result of us not seeing ourselves as one people. I am an African man born in America. I've come back because we study Ifa, we're studying Ifa with the chief, and coming back to learn more about our culture. When I touched down, people said, oh my God, you're a Yoruba man, you're an Igbo man, you're a Nigerian man. I was born in San Diego, California. But what I'm saying to you is, it has happened before. Do you understand me? And it will happen again if we do not come together.
The Obas, our leaders, talk to your people that independence has come. We have now found ourselves. We are brothers. Igbo cannot fight Yoruba anymore. The Igala is a Yoruba, is an Igala. The Jaja of Ogobo is a brother to the Oni of Ife. So why are three of you, or all of you, not combining together as 70%?
Following new scientific evidence presented by Prince Justice Faloye in his books and documentary, His Imperial Majesty, the Ooni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi Ojaja II, the Afenifere, and other stakeholders supported the call for a conference and other means to present the information to the public. On further consultation, paramount rulers of all the major original African groups supported the idea of presenting and disseminating our true cultural origins and linkages. The support of the Genetic Society of Nigeria was sought to disseminate the latest genetic evidence and work towards providing a complete genetic map of Nigeria. There is a need to increase the collective intelligence of original and indigenous Africans with regard to their true origins and collective aspirations. Basically, there are only two main ethno-linguistic groups across Nigeria and Africa as a whole. Original Africans, referred to as the Niger-Congo linguistic family, who all originated from the same source, and Afro-Asians, who are products of various Asiatic cultural imperialism. Original Africans constitute a 70% majority of Nigerian and African populations. Yorubas and Igbos are the two largest original African groups in Africa, and they share the same cultural foundations with all other ethnic groups in southern and central Nigeria, as well as from the Gambia to South Africa. The articulation of the cultural identity and interrelationships of original Africans is necessary to improve cultural pride, work ethic, and the basis for political unity. For too long, original African economic and political progress have been arrested with divide and rule tactics. It is believed that before the black race can rise, original Africans at its core must unite on a common platform, achieved preferably through a think tank that will dictate public discourse and opinion, as well as public policy through direct means like conferences and symposia, as well as indirect means like sweepstakes and quizzes. A presentation of the tripartite collaboration of Adulawo Media, the House of Oduduwa, and the Genetic Society of Nigeria. The journey of discovery continues. African, know thyself.
Nàìjíríà pátápátá